found yourself feeling guilty for finally saying enough, hear this clearly. You are not walking away from love. You are walking toward healing. There are people, often wounded themselves, who only see your goodness as long as you stay small. They are perfectly content with your virtue as long as it doesn't interfere with their control. But the moment you find your voice, the moment you begin to guard the sacred ground of your soul, the moment you say, I am also made in the image of God and I will no longer be treated like I am disposable, they flip the script. Suddenly, you are selfish, difficult, unforgiving. But listen, their reaction isn't a reflection of your failure, it's a confirmation of your growth. To the tender-hearted soul who has loved faithfully and been met with betrayal instead of blessing. If you've ever been made to feel like your worth was tied to your silence, if your kindness has been mistaken for weakness or your grace exploited as permission, if you've been celebrated for being humble but only as long as you were easy to control, this video is for you. You may have tried to be the peacemaker, the forgiver, the strong one, the one who took the high road, even as the weight of mistreatment grew too heavy to carry. You've been told, either outright or through twisted implication, that Christ-likeness means letting yourself be used, that turning the other cheek means having no boundaries, that loving well means never resisting harm. But here is the holy, freeing truth. God never asked you to shrink to be good. He did not model passivity in the face of evil. He modeled courage, wrapped in compassion. He was fierce in love and firm in truth. He never confused peacekeeping with people-pleasing. He never bowed to manipulation, and he never required his followers to remain in relationships where truth could not live. So if you found yourself feeling guilty for finally saying enough, hear this clearly. You are not walking away from love. You are walking toward healing. There are people, often wounded themselves, who only see your goodness as long as you stay small. They are perfectly content with your virtue as long as it doesn't interfere with their control. But the moment you find your voice, the moment you begin to guard the sacred ground of your soul, the moment you say, I am also made in the image of God and I will no longer be treated like I am disposable, they flip the script. Suddenly, you are selfish, difficult, unforgiving. But listen, their reaction isn't a reflection of your failure. It's a confirmation of your growth. Even Jesus faced it. The same crowd that shouted Hosanna when he came in peace cried, crucify him, when he refused to be a puppet. You are not alone in this. You are following in the footsteps of the one who disrupted false peace to bring real truth. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Matthew 5:10. It's not your job to keep people comfortable in their dysfunction. It's not your calling to trade your mental, emotional, and spiritual health for their approval. And it's not rebellion to finally honor the voice God placed inside you. It's restoration. You were not created to be endlessly drained. You were not made to endure cycles of emotional manipulation disguised as godly correction. You were made to thrive in the love of Christ and to offer that love from a place of wholeness, not survival. Love your neighbor as yourself, not instead of yourself, not at the expense of yourself, not only your neighbor, as yourself. There is no virtue in spiritual exhaustion. There is no righteousness in spiritual abuse. And there is no holiness in hiding the very self God made you to be. So if you're standing at the edge of a hard decision, whether to stay, to speak, or to walk away, I pray you have the courage to choose freedom. Not because it's easy, but because you were never meant to live in chains. Even the one dressed in religious language. Yes, God calls us to forgive, but he also calls us to wisdom. Yes, he calls us to grace, but never to enablement. You may lose people. You may be misunderstood. You may even be called rebellious by those who once praised your submission. But if you are following the voice of the Good Shepherd, you are on holy ground. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Psalm 34 verse 18. He sees the battle you fought silently. He knows the tears you've cried behind closed doors, and He honors your heart even when others do not. You are not bitter, you are healing. You are not hard-hearted, you are learning to guard your heart like God told you to. Proverbs 4:23. You are not prideful, you are stepping into the identity God gave you. So breathe, stand tall, and remember whose you are. Let them call you what they will. Let God call you beloved. The fight is not over, but you are no longer fighting alone. The truth will arise, and so will you. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. With grace, fire, and faith. A fellow warrior in Christ. God bless you.